It is Sunday. Some of you just getting out of church. Some of you still recovering from that amazing Final Four concert by Glorilla last night in Tampa. And some of you are just jumping into the rotation. Well, guess what? Spark up, pack that bowl. We got an action-packed, amazing show for you today. We're talking everything about the best blunt in the Bay rolling competition. And we got some amazing special guests joining us today in the rotation. Roll that beautiful. All right, everyone. My name is Christopher Cano. I am the executive director of the Suncoast chapter of NORML, the national organization for the reform of marijuana laws. Been working since 1970 to make sure that we can legalize it in this country, protecting the civil rights of all responsible cannabis users. And we are joined today by some very special guests. Of course, as always, our amazing deputy director and amateur studio engineer, Carlos Hermida.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Obviously, some of you are like, well, where's Gary? Where's Gary? Gary will be joining us today at some point. Of course, he's in parts unknown as always. And then we have our amazing special guest joining us to talk about our upcoming fundraiser this Saturday, which is the biggest one of the year. That is the best blunt in the Bay rolling competition, where all proceeds go to an amazing cause. And that, of course, is to legalize it. And we have a new switch up this year. You know, typically we have done the rolling competition in the backyard at Tillum each and every year, but we have an amazing partner, a cornerstone of the Tampa Bay community over the past decade, someone who has dedicated his time and his space at the Dignitary Cafe, and that is Mr. Ian Beckles. Ian, welcome to the rotation.
Thank you for having me.
Next to Ian is one of our judges who's coming back for her second year judging the competition, and that's Katrina Pinkk. Katrina, how you doing today?
All right. How are you?
All right. And then, of course, joining us remotely, but who will be at the competition defending her title, and that's Miss Indica Jane, our reigning champion. Indica, how you doing?
I am doing Gucci.
Awesome.
So I understand, though, that there's been an interesting development with the whole contest. And actually, there's two contestants right now on the show. We introduce Ian as the host of the event, but Ian will be going up head to head against, well, not head to head, but like other people will be there. But correct. Landra will be defending her title against Ian.
Ooh.
I don't know. It's actually, I can understand why you're not in the studio today, Landra.
Oh, yeah, you understand? Are you trying to set us up here? It's okay. We could be a team one day.
Well, I'm glad you said that, Landra, because folks can enter into the competition because there are team events. They can put a team of 4 in the competition, and every member of that team is entered into the individual events as well. And an individual cost to enter the competition versus a team one, you actually get a discount if you put it up a team of 4 versus what it would cost just as each person enrolling as an individual. So if folks got 3 other friends that they want to come to the competition with, sign up and put a team in. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun with both the team and individual events. And I'm excited because for the last 3 competitions, the belt has changed hands, and a woman has gone home with the belt. So with Ian entering the competition this year, there's a lot to be said. Will this be the year that the men take home the belt? Landra Indica might have something to say about that.
Hey, I showed up and was not planning on being in that competition last year, but I did, and I'm ready for a challenge, to say the least.
Awesome.
It'll be good.
Now, Ian, a lot of folks know you from your time as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer and also on sports radio. What was your journey to getting into the cannabis space?
I had the oddest journey of anybody because I used to be literally the guy people got to piss for them back in the day because I was the only one with a clean pee. Because we all got tested in July, and if you pass that test, if you fail the test, you're in trouble. Okay, then they test you all the time.
Yeah,
But
we saw what happened to Ricky Williams.
exactly. So some of the guys that got popped would have to continually pee, and literally, I was the only guy that didn't smoke weed. Everybody else smoked weed. So
Everybody else smoked weed?
everybody that I knew around me that I play with smoked weed. I'm just telling you, they did. They should be handing out joints as you leave the complex instead of the pills that they handed out to kill all my brothers. But I started smoking when I was 35 years old.
Wow.
I remember my boy gave me one bud a week, and I would break it up and smoke it. I'm like, ooh, I'm so high, So the other day, as I'm pulling out my briefcases of buds and stuff, my buddy who first put me on to the one bud a week, he looked at me and he says, "You should be ashamed of yourself. Look what you've turned into." Because I went from the guy who used to pee with the clean pee,
Wow,
to the hub of it. So things changed throughout the years.
Now your space that we're hosting this year, the Dignitary Cafe, you've turned it into a tea and kava lounge, but also a place where people can come and feel comfortable, just relaxing. And I just think it has an amazing vibe and a great location as well. Being in South Tampa, but being right before you get over the bridge, so you can get folks from both sides. What was your kind of thought process in opening up that space and making really a home, for folks in the Tampa Bay community there?
Well, when I was going through my divorce, I was staying in that building a lot. So I've been in that building for 9 years now. And then I was going through a time where I used to be a drinker, and then I stopped drinking, and then I kind of fell into kava. And then I was asking the questions, where are the kava bars in South Tampa? And nobody can answer a question. I said, where's the damn kava bars in South Tampa? And you have to drive all the way over the bridge. So I'm the kind of cat that would like to create stuff so I don't have to move. So I created a kava bar, right? I used to be the hub for alcohol too, and then I become the hub for kava and marijuana. So Dignitary Cafe is, like you said, is a good vibe. It's a good place to hang out, and we're 420 friendly. We have an outdoor lounge. You can even smoke inside in the back. We have a little pool room back there. So the vibes are good. Everybody's easy going. Ain't nobody raising their voice in there because you get slapped. We don't play that. We keep it low and relaxed.
Amen.
Yeah, man.
So,
Yeah.
Ian, really quickly, I know that you were just on WFLA talking about the benefits of kava.
Mm-hmm.
We talked now just about how you were introduced to cannabis and whatnot. Can you just take a moment and say personally how cannabis has really helped you out? And I know you were a football player and all that, but can you get a little bit more specific and everything?
Well, I'm 57 years old, so I think the average 57-year-old has bumps and bruises. Okay, that's just what life brings. But when I compare myself to a regular person, I'm lucky I'm moving. Okay, because when you guys were sitting behind desks and wielding pens, I was thrusting my shoulders and my head into people. That's what I did for a living. So nobody said I was smart for doing it, but they did pay us well. But when you're 57 years old, you got to start making some decisions going forward, because you can't keep on drinking the way you were. You can't keep on eating junk food. You can't keep on ingesting sugar. So I just changed my lifestyle to where I try to do less things that are bad for me. And marijuana, it's been part of my life for 20 years now. God bless it. Okay, in all aspects of it, in all ways. Kava has become a big part. I'm a kratom guy as well, and I don't want to hear, well, you could be up, you can get upset. Kratom could do anything, can do it. We're okay. Mm-hmm. We're all hooked on fast food. We're hooked on sugar. We're hooked on salt. We're hooked on everything. So in moderation, a couple of these a day, and my aches and pains, they do a lot better.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
All right.
Ian told us about his journey. He was a late bloomer joining the cannabis space. I know I was 21 the first time I hit it. It was my 21st birthday and chilling with some friends. But Katrina, you grew up in Miami as a teenager. I'm sure your journey was a lot younger. So share with us how you got into cannabis.
Oh shit, where in Miami?
Oh, I'm country. I'm homestead, Florida City, Marin Jagoon, Cutler Ridge. I
was born in Kendall.
Oh yeah. That's what my godfather is living there right now. Mm-hmm. But no, I did my teenage year in Tampa, Florida. We grew up kind of together, with my brother Elijah Dukes.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have history. Me and Kano. Yeah,
Elijah
that's my
Dukes,
little brother.
Wow.
That's how a lot of people really be like, oh, okay, Elijah Dukes. Yeah, that's how I am. was noticed a lot in this world in Tampa. But yeah, so I started smoking. Honestly, I was about 15 with my friend girl Nicole. It just for me, some reason just motivated me to get up to go to school more. I had my own car, I had a job,
Feel that.
and it was just like I was already going through stress when I shouldn't have at that age anyway, that I know of.
Yeah,
And
like your family were Hurricane Andrew refugees from South Florida.
yeah,
You came to Tampa, so yeah,
yeah.
that's a
My
stressful
area.
situation.
I'm sorry, it's my earring today. Yeah, so that's how that went for me. So I started at 15 and I thought about stopping, but I just don't see it right now because of the medicinal reasons and the benefits that come from it, and I support it. So when I saw that it helped cancer patients and things like that, I became more fond of it and smoked more. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, people look at me weird whenever I say this, but I earned 3 bachelor's degrees and a master's degree smoking marijuana. I wouldn't be able to do that without
Yeah.
marijuana. And helping you focus, it's very valuable. So I relate to that a lot.
Carlos, I wrote my master's thesis, even though I had 3 years to do it. I wrote it 8 hours before it was due on marijuana, and the thesis was on marijuana prohibition policy. So yes, it does help you focus. So I wrote about weed on weed and got a master's degree from USF for it.
The funniest thing is just yesterday I heard somebody say, well, marijuana makes you lazy. And I go, what are you talking about? What do you mean? I said, everything that's ever been created, somebody was on marijuana. What do you mean to make lazy people, if they smoke marijuana, become lazy? If I smoke marijuana before I do everything, it makes it better.
I'm an active stoner too. Like I say it's active stoner. Like I might smoke a bowl in the middle of the night when I get off a shift, and then I'll start dusting my fans. I don't know. It throttles whatever you are, right? Like but it also I enjoyed it in the school life as well because it made everything is so loud nowadays. We have so much going around our environment and happening. I needed a way to just slow things down and focus, and that helped me. I mean, there's different medicine for everybody, but it's really it's nice to see how everybody else connects with it. Like ibuprofen isn't for everybody, but this is really great.
Well, let's take a moment. Let's give you the proper introduction here. Okay. Here's the thing. There's certain normal Suncoast Normal is not like a new organization. We've been around for a little bit now, and
Over a decade, Carlos. Over a decade.
Yeah.
There are certain people, and I mentioned when we were talking to Vinny and Hannah last week from Cushy Pies. They are examples of advocates that have been supporting us since the beginning, and supporting us from the beginning. It's little known fact. I don't know if you guys know this about us, but one of the things that we did that brought us some fame here is that we put a giant smoking blunt in a 4th of July parade in Tampa Bay.
On a boat.
I miss that, Kano.
We pissed off a bunch of Republicans.
Oh man, God, I miss that. Me.
And
it was good. It was a really good event.
The Anti-Drug Alliance shit the bed on that one. They lost their minds after
Indica here, right? Was on the float, and she was the person with the megaphone.
Not the entire time.
Lucky.
But I was a little loud. I might have been a little loud.
So thank you for your support. You've been here since the beginning, and you mentioned that you were just kind of coming to the event just to say what's up, and decided to sit down and roll some blunts that day.
Yes, I was just like, why not? And then I won. It was such good energy. I had so much fun. I just came to support you guys. I hadn't been around because I had moved away to a different state for a while, and then I came back, and I was just like, this is so awesome. I can't believe you just jump in. You can just jump in, and that's what's been so awesome about what you guys have created is you're giving people a chance to jump in. a chance for your rights, a chance for your medicine, a chance to win cool things and be a part of a community. So
Jump in the
I love
rotation.
it.
Hey, y'all
Yeah,
hear
rotation. Yeah.
Jane? Y'all hear her? Jump in.
So, we got this year's competition, other than being hosted at the Dignitary and having team events, it's going to be a lot of fun because, as a champ, Indica, you're going to get a bye right into the championship round, but you still got to compete for your score. So we're going to see how you shape up, but the championship round is going to be a lot of fun. Let's see how you make out against the finalists. So we're going to have 3 folks in the championship round this year. So and I'm pretty excited for everybody who is getting either a judge pass, enters the competition, or gets a VIP ticket. They get an amazing gift bag from Cushy Pies. If you visit our Facebook page, Facebook/SunCoastNormal, you can actually see the gift bag, the picture. It comes with a Cushy Pie. It comes with an ashtray. The bag itself is a refrigerator bag, so you can keep all your edibles and goodies nice and cool. It's going to be a lot of fun. Folks are going to have a great time. Again, tickets are available still. If you have a limited amount of judge passes, I know we've sold quite a few, but there's just a handful left. You can go to suncoastnormal.org and get your tickets. As far as entries go, we still have the opportunity for folks to enter on. And we also have a food truck sponsor who's come on. I know Carlos is showing the promos. The Slap Your Mama food truck is actually going to be at the Dignitary, serving up some amazing wings, fries, in a delectable menu that they have available. So we're really working our best to bring together all the amazing things that make Tampa Tampa. We have a history of cigar rolling, so blunt rolling just makes sense. We have, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and our love of sports, and Ian definitely represents that. But also, we have an amazing cannabis culture in Tampa that has been around for a very, very long time. And Tampa has actually been on the front lines of this fight against cannabis prohibition, because right across from Chillum in Ybor City there is where the Licata family business used to be. And for those who don't know, Harry Anslinger, when he was commissioner of the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, actually used the Victor Licata murder case to say that, cannabis makes you go crazy and want to murder your parents. And that was the influence that caused the movie Reefer Madness to be made. Victor Licata was a mentally unstable schizophrenic who actually was off his meds, and it was a drought at the time. He couldn't get any bud, and he ended up murdering his parents with an axe. And then when they searched the house, they found a few little, roaches and so maybe it's some buds in his sock drawer, and they say, "Oh, we made this guy go crazy and murder everybody." So
I've stayed in that house.
Wow,
it's right there. It's right down the street from you guys.
So you stayed in there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an they got Airbnb, and you can
they turned it into an Airbnb.
It is an Airbnb.
My God!
It doesn't.
They tell you
they own the house next door too, so it's like.
Do they tell you that it's a murder house when you stay there?
Yeah, it's like they did investigations for a show recently, and they dug up some more stuff around the house.
Oh my gosh, that's some
they
real
found,
yeah, this is what happens when you don't give us our medicine.
I mean,
no, there's a story that
I haven't. I have this hankering feeling that neither Katrina nor Ian would stay in a murder house for the night.
I don't know. I don't really play those.
Landry, I hate to say that, but that sounds like some white people shit.
I'm not. It was for weed, though. It's part of the history of weed.
Yeah. I mean, I did smoke weed in the house, and I felt good about it. There's actually a lot of really cool things in there, and it wasn't like still set up the way it was when that all happened. I think there was even a phone booth in like the living room. There was like a lot going on.
Wow.
Excuse me, is that where they have those ghost tours? Anybody heard of the ghost tours?
They did.
Serious.
They did a ghost tour through there.
Tampa, like, is that one of the places?
So Kurt, who owns the house, he actually told me when he moved in, there was a windowsill that he noticed was like screwed up, and it looked like it had like little indentations in it. And then he went and he fixed it. And then afterwards, he found out that it was the Reefer Madness house and that somebody had killed somebody with an axe. And he remembered the windowsill and that the indentations looked exactly like axe marks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And then he also said that, like, in one of the ghost tour investigations, they were like looking around in the attic and they found like these empty liquor bottles, that there might have been a liquor still in the house, actually.
Well, you know, prohibition, you know, not just alcohol, but cannabis prohibition all happened at the same time in this country because of the resurgence of the temperance movement. Carlos, you actually have an old mafia, you know, bootlegging tunnel under Chillum, right in the backyard.
Yeah.
There's an entrance to the tunnel.
I was gonna say I tried to get somebody together with me a decade ago to do like ghost tours, and we were trying to get the city to clean out those tunnels so that we can connect it to like the Columbia, and it goes all the way down to the ports. I mean, it is a historical thing. It's kind of creepy, but I think the creepy aspect kind of helps the I guess character of it all. It brings in, like, you know, extra feelings, but yeah, the Reefer Madness house, it's not, it's unfortunate that happened, and I hate that they used marijuana as a excuse for certain behavior, but, you know, Florida man and other things, we need to label stuff here and there, I guess.
Now across the street promoting cannabis legalization.
I had no idea.
Holding a blunt rolling contest, you know.
Jump in the rotation.
And
yeah.
I think it, you know, and you guys should tell me if you guys don't like. Katrina, you are a judge, so you're getting ready to smoke a lot of blunts.
A lot of them.
a lot of them.
And there are still judge tickets available, but I want to talk to Ian. I want to talk to Indica real quick about your strategies. Like, have you guys like thought of like maybe some sort of strategy, what you're gonna try to roll? Or do you like not want to give that up? Is that something that you'd want to keep a secret?
I mean, I have a couple questions.
Okay, all right, let's do it.
This young lady already smoked something that I concocted this morning.
Oh, yeah, I did.
Wait, so you rolled?
Ooh, do I need to come over there? Do I need to come over there and do like a pre-competition?
No, you got to run for your money, man. I already smoked his blunt.
Listen, I'm not trying to scare you. Okay, I'm here for you. I'm for you. All right, but when I grabbed that out of Ian's hand, okay, I was like, yeah, you definitely use a blunt roller. He was like, no, I can do it for you in 20 seconds right now. I was like, no way. So I hit it.
Yeah.
I was just like,
I am gonna say I'm nervous.
oh snap. And it's
because I'm usually a joint roller, not really a blunt roller. And I kind of like I don't even think I rolled a blunt in 2 years when I came to that competition.
He's here for it. I think he's doing it in his
sleep. I know. I'm a little nervous, but I've been practicing with all different kinds of wraps the last couple weeks, so hoping that and some of them have been really dry and disappointing, but I made them work, so I think the challenge is there. I know you've probably been doing that for a long time, but at least I know I can nail the joint end no problem.
Well, I have a question. Is it our choice of the wrap, and also are we allowed to use accessories? Because I like to use glass tips, or we have wood dignitary tips. Are we allowed to use accessories?
So, Ian, I'm glad I'm going to answer your question. I go over the event guide. Carlos, if you want to flash the event guide on the screen. So, first things first, right? In all competitions, everybody's going to get essentially the same products, you know, so that way it's an even playing field. So if we're going to be doing wraps in one competition, then it's wraps. If we're doing papers, it's papers for everybody. But Ian, to answer your question about the glass tip, we have 3 events. And in the last round, the style round, is where you can essentially create your own. So the glass tip would be it for you. And now we can, now that I think about it, we can give everybody the opportunity if they want to do a glass tip in the other rounds. But that, you know, so that's going to be something. Folks will be judged on style. Now, the first round, right? That's the endurance round. We're going to have anywhere from 7 to 9 judges. Each contestant in the first round is going to have to roll one entry for each judge, right? So that's essentially, if there's 9 judges, that's 9 blunts. Now, Ian, you're going to have to put 9 glass tips in there if that's the case, And again, folks are going to be judged on in Katrina, this is where you come in. You're going to have to judge it on the style. You're going to have to judge it on the aesthetic value, how pretty it is. You're going to have to judge it on how it smokes, and then give it a score between 1 to 10, for each one. Now, the second round is the speed round. And this is where you're essentially going to have to see, and you're going to be timed, who can roll the fastest. And this is where Ian could come in and dominate, because as Katrina just pointed out, he could put one out in 20 seconds. But again, it's not all about speed in the speed round, because points will be deducted on style and how well it smokes. And then, of course, the freestyle round, which is, your ability to show us how creative you are. There are, and we've seen it on Instagram, some folks who can roll their blunts into a Ninja Turtle, other folks who can roll a TIE fighter. We've seen in previous years cross joints and braided joints. We've seen folks try to roll a blunt into a pipe. So there is definitely an opportunity in the freestyle round for folks to really let their skills shine, and that's going to set essentially the wheat from the shaft. Again, the top 2 score getters from the individual competitions will move on to the finals. Indica, you will be contributing in each round for your scores, but you will also be in the final. So we'll have a 3-way final this year, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then, of course, with the team competitions, right? So if you got a team of 4, we're going to have a relay roll. And much in the same way, the endurance round where each judge has to get a blunt, the relay roll your team has to roll a blunt for each judge, but each person will essentially relay race it. One person will roll, then they'll tag in the next person. They have to roll. And so each judge will still get a blunt. So this is an opportunity where a team of 4, some people may roll 2, one member on the team, the strongest one, the anchor, might roll 3 if we have 9 judges, but that is definitely an interesting one. Now with the long burn competition, you're going to have to, as a team, roll up, and then as a team, pick your best one that you think is going to burn the best, and your team is going to be graded on how long it burns. So much in the same way we have a speed round, we're going to have a round where we're going to see who can actually roll the blunt that burns the longest in the team competition. And then the last round in which teams will be judged will be the hitch up. This is the round where you're going to put up your team's best entry for rolling, but everybody has to essentially touch it. As someone can grind it up, someone can put the bud in it, someone can help it. Maybe someone just licks it because they're the weak link on the team. But this is one where everybody has to touch it, and it is a creativity and style round. And then again, much in the same way in the individual competition, the top 2 scores in the team competition, top 2 teams will advance to the finals to compete against each other in the championship. And this year's championships are also great because you have championship belts. Carlos, they're actually supposed to be delivered to the shop on Wednesday. So I'm pretty excited that someone's going to get to put a belt on their mantle. I know Ian wants to put that belt up in the Dignitary for all to see. It's going to be an amazing thing. Indigo wants to actually go home with her belt this year. You'll be able to walk around Tampa with your belt, Ybor City on a Friday night, and show everybody you roll with the best in the Bay. I think that's an amazing opportunity for folks to have. Also, I do want folks to know that Cushy Pies, as our VIP sponsor, has put up a $50 gift certificate for the winner of the competition to get $50 worth of Cushy Pies at their booth at the event, in addition to the amazing goodie bag that they're sponsoring.
We'll put up 50 dignitary dollars as well, then.
Oh man, Ian, thank you so much.
Everybody's putting stuff up. I want to put stuff up.
Yeah,
I want to put stuff up too.
Carlos, what's Chilla gonna put up?
What you putting up?
I'm gonna do my Puffco contribute. Winner gets a Puffco.
Okay. Whoa, that's a $500 rig. That's amazing.
Hell yeah.
Indica, you got a Puffco last year. You still got it? Is it there in the crib?
Yes, it is.
Show it to us. Show us the Puffco.
You want me to leave right now? I have it all hidden and put on a shelf and locked away.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
I can go get it, but it's a journey. It's just a journey.
If it's in a top secret location, we get it. It's a Puffco. It's a $500.
It's a pro.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so listen, hold on real quick. So I overheard the last Sunday when Kano was like, Carlos is actually taking himself out of the competition because Ian and Indica would really have a challenge. Is that true? Because I really need answers here.
Honestly, I
don't
just
know.
like to talk shit.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you.
right.
Because, like, yeah, he likes it.
Okay, that's all it was.
The
Because you be packing bowls.
my I'm a dab guy. I do dabs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Carlos's claim to fame is getting you fucked up on a dab. Okay.
Yo,
Dude, at one point I was like, I'm already high. I'm already there.
My first day out of rehab. Let me tell y'all a story. My first day out of rehab, and by rehab, I had to go to court ordered rehab, not by choice. All right, but to get my record expunged, I had to go to court ordered rehab. And my first day out of rehab, Carlos is like, "You want to do a dab?" I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I ain't smoked for 10 months. And the last time I had smoked before rehab was with Carlos. So it had been a 10-month journey, and he could tell you those were the most irritable 10 months of 2015 you could ever see.
We got into the weirdest arguments.
We got over a fight over the letter I.
Arguments when we're high.
Yeah, I was sober and fighting over letters. It was just sad.
Oh my God, Kano, I'm so sorry you went through that.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that's the system. This is what we got. But moving past it, Carlos gave me a dab. And I ended up driving home, and I couldn't get in the house because I forgot my keys at his house. So I drove back to his house and was like, "Bro, I forgot my keys."
How you drove back to his house, bro?
Thank you. That is the mystery to this day.
I want to dab right now.
That is the mystery to this day. We still don't know how I drove home and drove back and forgot my keys.
So traditionally, though,
Can't dab and drive.
I like to think I'm a good blunt roller, but I'm probably just a little bit above that. All right. Traditionally, with the contest, I'm the referee, and also Chillums. We do need to talk about this, and I think both Ian and Indica are interested in this because, like, Chillum's role in the contest has always been. I mean, we've done it in the backyard and everything, but we've always contributed the flour. And last year we didn't contribute the blunts, but we got to do the blunts this year. Last year we were working with Brothers Broadleaf. But yeah, so like this year, what should I bring? I know I got to bring like a QP of flour and I don't know, backwoods, wraps. What's going on here? What should I do?
Just bring a little bit of everything just in case.
I've been recently trying these rosebud flower blunts, and those are pretty cool. I know we can't do that. They're probably too.
What was that blunt we smoked earlier? What was that rolled in?
Yeah, what did you guys smoke earlier?
Oh, camo.
Oh, okay, that was a camo. Okay, we got camo.
I love camos.
What is it exactly? Because I didn't know.
Camo is the blunt has a nicotine in it, and the camo is just made of chamomile tea, so there's no nicotine in it.
Ooh, I do love that. I would love to try that.
It's both like a really natural and like really affordable blunt. Like you get like 5 in a pack or some shit like that.
It was really.
I would love to try that.
Okay, we're gonna do some camos this year.
All right, there you go.
I don't know, Linda.
I want to keep some things a surprise. I seem to do good under pressure, so I don't want to prepare myself too much.
That might be an advantage because he is good at the camo. Like when he rolled the camo, I'm telling you, I was just like, wait,
out the box.
Let me know where you got it from. It's okay. I can stuff one too. Give me one. He was like, no, I rolled myself. 20 seconds.
Look at that.
Katrina, I've known you for almost 30 years. I don't want to give away our ages, but yeah, it's been almost 3 decades we've known each other. And I know that you can roll a badass blunt. So people are lucky that you're not in the competition, that you are a judge. So I just want to qualify your credentials because you definitely know how to roll one. It's not sloppy. There's not a whole bunch of saliva over it. So you are definitely solid. So you have the credentials to critique blunts. And I know you have smoked with some of the best in the Bay yourself. So.
For true. Yeah. Some of the best, all the way back then to just to name a few.
You smoke with both judges and dope boys. You smoked the gambit.
How you just pull up in your face card, be like, what are they go Pinkk, they go treat. I'm really like that. They know as soon as I pull up, they just hand it here because we know. Yeah.
Now, you're rolling it.
Same thing.
For folks who are just tuning in, you got to understand we have 3 celebrities on the show right now, right? Indica, you actually have starred in some movies, and folks can watch them on Tubi. Same with Kat. you've starred in a couple movies. You can also watch those on Tubi. And then Ian, both as a radio personality and a professional athlete, and of course a major contributor to the business community in Tampa, all the way around. We're just honored to have y'all. I mean, we've had celebrities on the show, but never three at the same time. So this is a star-studded rotation.
Okay, then jump in the rotation. Y'all already know we here for it, Tampa Bay. Come on, way.
But her story sounded like my stories. I mean, I've smoked with the grimiest cats, and I've smoked with some of the most prestigious, illustrious cats. You would never think that. Well, I would, because I know everybody smokes, And back in the day when they were putting people in jail, mothers in jail for smoking to take care of their badass kids.
Correct.
The lawyers were smoking, the judge was smoking, everybody in the jury was smoking, and they were putting people in jail
for doing the same thing, right?
So we're still pretty darn hypocritical because they're still doing it. I was telling Carlos the other day I did the Bloom show on Channel 8, and the lovely Gail Guayardo was doing it, and I've known Gail for many years, and I did a whole segment, and they had to make me do it again because I said THC. I didn't even say smoke THC. I just said kava doesn't treat you like THC, and they wouldn't let me do it. We had to do the whole thing over. So it's still out there, man. It really is.
Well, that's what we've encountered with the promos, right? Is the shadow banning. One, our Instagram account was deactivated a couple months ago. Facebook isn't promoting our stuff. And then when I've reached out to other influencers who I've paid in the past to promote our stuff, they're like, "Oh no, that's going to get flagged by Insta. We can't post that for y'all." So the big tech collusion with the prohibitionists is real. And we're really going backwards to a time where organizations like Normal have to continue and have to exist. People ask us all the time, well, now that it's legal, why should I become a member? Why should we even continue to participate? But Carlos can tell you, there are folks in Tallahassee right now, many who smoke weed, as Ian pointed out. I actually interned and worked in Tallahassee. These are after 5 o'clock on a Friday, it gets funky in that Capitol building. But for some reason, these folks are trying to put small business owners like yourself, Ian, and like Carlos out of business,
right.
and not able to sell hemp products, and it's just ludicrous to me that we have that level of hypocrisy. We're going backwards in a lot of ways, and so we need folks to participate. We need folks to become members. If you're someone who you don't really care so much about the political aspect of things, but you still want to support civil rights of cannabis users, then become a member of Suncoast Normal, because your membership entitles you to free admission to all our amazing events throughout the year. Whether it's getting into the Halloween party, which Ian hosted at the Dignitary this year, or it's general admission to the best blunt in the Bay rolling competition, or our membership shesh. There's so many great opportunities for you to contribute and be a part of this. And again, you actually get with your VIP ticket, your judge pass, or your contested entry, a 1-year membership to Suncoast Normal. So it's just as simple as grabbing a ticket to the blunt rolling competition that's not general admission, and you will automatically become a member of the organization and be a part of a network of people where you have a safe space to be yourself, to meet like-minded people, and to really build a camaraderie and a friendship in the Tampa Bay community. And we've done our best to do that with an active mind towards diversity, because I can tell you that being on the national board of directors for Normal, and this is not a hit to them, but they were founded in the 70s by by white lawyers who were young then, but now they're in their 80s, and it feels like a lot of ways that the national board is an old white man's club. We only have like 3 people of color on the national board, and they always want to qualify me as one, and I'm just like, yes, I'm melanin deficient as a person of color, so I don't really count for most things. So that being said, I think that diversity is something that you actively have to work at, because there is nothing worse than having a room full of people who all look the same, all think the same, all act the same. Well, our strength as a community is the different ideas and the different life experiences that people bring to the table, because nothing irritates me more than when I hear a bunch of 80-year-old white lawyers talk about the time they smoked weed in a government building. And I'm thinking, yeah, none of us else in this room can share that type of story. That's some wild shit. You in the Capitol, hotboxed it, and you got away with it. That is a wild story to tell, but no fucking way. That don't even sound right to me. I know that don't sound right to you, Trina, right?
Real no, Dolores Tucker, you a motherfucker in my Tupac voice. That's all I can say about that.
But I was talking to a lawyer once, and we're talking about like nobody gets pulled over for weed more than athletes back in the day. Nobody, and a lot of them go to jail. A lot of them get in trouble.
brother.
And I asked a lawyer, "Have you ever heard of a lawyer getting pulled over with weed?" And nobody said anything. I go, because it's never happened.
It's not gonna happen.
And I don't know one lawyer, and I know them all, that doesn't smoke weed. They all smoke weed. So that's just to the point where, like this. You said the beginning of that group was old and white. The beginning of every group is old and white.
Right.
Yes, that's true.
Right. So they say, well, if not, they take over anyway. So what difference does it make?
We don't have no.
Chappelle said it. Chappelle said it when he was talking about the LGBT movement, right? It's led by white men. They're like, we built these roads of oppression. We know how to drive them, you know? So it's a shocker there, but it's not. You're absolutely right, Ian. You hit it on the head.
Yeah.
So
yeah, come through with this this event. That's what I'm saying. You forgot to mention when they get that membership, how they can be on this parade little thingy with the big blunt pissing off the Republicans. If nothing else, I'm still stuck back there. I missed that event. Yeah, I need everybody to know
Y'all
this.
trying to get shot, pissing off Republicans.
Listen, I need
What happened to the blunt? Is it still out there?
at this parade. I need to be on that parade.
It is still in Carlos's garage. We actually were banned from the Temple Terrace parade.
What?
They had a city council meeting to ban our float, and then they gave us the wrong time. So when we showed up, they had already had the hearing.
Yeah.
So they think they were
They
slick.
play with y'all whole time.
Yeah. But we put it in. We put it in their parade 2 years in a row. The third year we came back with the We for Warriors project, and we had the USS Mary Jane, which was a battleship with flags flying that said "Don't tread on weed." So that was pretty cool. But then we've since then we've switched and put the float in the St. Pete Pride Parade, which is a much bigger parade.
Yeah,
Has a lot more people. We have a lot of fun. Matter of fact, when I ran for state house in 2018, I had the Vote Kano banner on the car and a giant blunt rolling behind it. So I was a different type of candidate.
Just a whole nother.
This is just you would never see another state house candidate with a giant blunt going behind their "Vote for Me" truck. But I have never been a hypocrite. I'm honest. I look in the mirror. I have warts. I have imperfections as a person, as a candidate, and I think that's the part that I've always wanted to be. I'm not going to sell out, because like I said, I grew up in West Tampa, and there's no way for me to hide from the community. When I come home, so I think it's important to be yourself when you do step out into the public sector, and I think that's awesome to see someone like Ian be unapologetically himself. Indica, you yourself, Katrina, you are three people who I know keep it real at all times, and I'm honored to have y'all be a part of this, not just competition, but be partners with us in this journey towards making sure we legalize it.
Let's not forget Carlos, the most
Yeah.
important right here.
Yeah.
Today, that hour.
Carlos loves pissing people off. That's why I didn't mention him. Carlos, you know how many complaints we get about Carlos as an organization? It's hilarious.
Carlos.
People will complain.
I would have never known.
Oh, Carlos says some wild shit sometimes just for the sake of gaslighting folks.
I know he can be random as hell, but
I'm a teddy bear sometimes, but
gentle giant.
You like to spark people's fires.
I just would have never known. I don't get that from Carlos at all. I don't.
No.
Yeah, big teddy bear.
I have definitely over the past 10 years of the organization calmed down quite a bit, though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot more complaints the first couple of years we started.
He took them complaints into consideration.
Yeah.
Same here.
Okay.
I still talk shit, but just
Kano, that's something totally different right there. Kano really is deeply rooted deep down. When I first met Kano, y'all, this is a really true story. I met him through my brother Elijah and other associates or what have you. They was all younger than me, but the moment he opened his mouth, I knew he was going to be locked in with my entire family and my brothers and everybody around him at the time, how they protected him. And I'm going to say it just flat out, because of the skin color, you didn't really see that a lot. So when Kano came around, I was like, there's no way this is a Caucasian. There's no way he's who people made our eyes see, because he was so for everything, free-minded, free-spirited, and just a good person. And you just didn't get that at the time from,
it's called empathy.
Yeah, that's definitely that too. And he really put his feet in our shoes, and growing up, and he never judged, and he was just always, I don't know, It was just a blessing to have him in our life. That's all I can say.
Being able to care for other people.
Yes.
Not being just selfish and narcissistic.
Most real underrated. I don't know if you did a lot.
It's crazy, you know. It's just we got a lot of good people on the podcast. It is crazy how few people are not, you know, so selfish.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Anyways,
You can stand up for each other. It's okay.
and that's what this is all about. So yeah.
I've been on a Kano for a long time. Yeah, long time.
That's beautiful.
Before I had kids. Yeah, my birthday is June 25th this year, just so everybody know.
Cancer.
Yeah, June 25th. Don't say no happy birthday. Rest in peace, Michael, to me. You text that, you're blocked. Just throw that out there. So, you know, don't do that. But June 25th, everybody knows starting June 1st all the way to the last day of June is my birthday. I was just born on June 25th.
The whole month.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's that.
Okay.
Every day is your birthday. Every day.
We're gonna have to do something special for you, Kat. Maybe we do a membership session or something around your birthday.
There we go.
We'll pull it together.
We'll figure it out. Code it out. There we go.
So now, Ian, I wanted to go back to you. You know, you hosted our Halloween party. Obviously, the hurricanes actually pushed our Halloween party a few weeks because the Dignitary took a big hit in the last hurricane season. And just, you know, I've seen you on the news lately promoting and such. So just wanted to, you know, how are things? Are you all fully back open for business? Is things back up to operation? How are y'all doing on the recovery efforts?
Yeah, we don't use the H word in Dignitary. We don't use it. Okay, that word you use a few times. We don't do that, especially since the season's coming up. Okay, so
don't jinx it.
Yeah, right. As far as Dignitary, you can go look at the books. We never closed. I mean,
that's awesome.
I live behind Dignitary, that old folks little area right back there. We got 6 inches in my house, and I got 2.5 feet through Dignitary, and I had to deal with my house, and then I had to shimmy my way over to Dignitary to walk in, and everybody's staring at me in my face, and everybody's like, when I mean a mess, it's hard to explain. 2.5 feet going through your whole building. I mean, everything is ruined. And they're all looking at me. I said, what do we do first? Like, I didn't have any time. I said, what do we do first? And we started hustling. We were selling kava and kratom off the curb. You know, some of our true, you know, customers were coming through, and the people who stood around and hustled with us, they're still there, and the ones that weren't part of it, they're gone. So a lot of times people say, you know, things happen for a reason. It weeded out, you know, the people that weren't about Dignitary, and the people that are still there are all about Dignitary. And we got good people now.
Yeah, hard times will definitely show you,
no doubt,
the softer people. You know, hard times will show you the soft spots of people, or show you that here's my ass, I'm out. That's just that. Because the moment you say no to people that you've always said yes to, and yes, the moment you say no, they forget how many times you've ever said yes. So it's just life. It's just gonna be that. But to come back from that is what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
I love Dignitary.
Once again, I've done stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've been through stuff. That's just not that. At the end of it, I'm not gonna say that's one of the hardest things I did. It's just work. You know, work is not hard for me. I've been doing it.
So that was last year we did the painting Halloween thingy, right?
Yep. In November. Yeah,
it was banging. That was dope.
Had a good time.
The turnout was crazy.
Yeah, Kat, you actually got your body painted in like glow in the dark paint.
I sure did. I stood right there. I sure did.
That event just shows how quickly your community was able to get things together. Because we only postponed the I mean, we had a Halloween event in the middle of November, but we postponed the event like just a couple of weeks. So that's amazing. You got some good people on your side, dude.
Well, sometimes, you know, an event like that, I use it as motivation. Like, hey guys, we got to be here by then. And you know, sometimes you have. We found out some people we have, you know, on our roster are unbelievable workers during this. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it takes something like this for the best to come out of people. And you know, some people are leaders and some people are followers. And we have people that took leads, and I thought that was a beautiful thing. And like, once again, I know who's about Dignitary, and that's who's still there. And listen, I have a great business partner with Tom Ponzo. We see eye to eye. Sometimes we want to gouge people's eyes out, but you know, it's hard to find this day. I think the mentality of a lot of these younger people, it's just not what I am. I'm old, okay? And back in the day, we weren't late ever. You know, that's just the way I was brought up. And there's not many people like that anymore, unfortunately.
You can go to the club, come home 3:44 a.m. and still make it to work at 7 a.m. This new era,
100%.
they're calling out. They're like, listen, I'm not coming. It is what it is. I found another job.
I used to work 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. on a Saturday, go home, get some sleep after the club. So like 2 hours of sleep, and then be back on. I work at 7 a.m. and work another 16-hour shift. And somehow folks tell me now who work under me, oh, 10 a.m. is too early to come in. I'm like, are you serious?
I was clocking at 4:45 a.m. 5 o'clock.
Man, I loved it. I used to be at work at 2:45 a.m. I used to beat the traffic and everything that way. I miss those hours.
I used to work in kitchens, and one thing that you do, it's pretty well accepted that you go out drinking after your shift in kitchen when you work in a kitchen.
Yeah.
So like I remember at one point it was like I had school all day, you know, I would have to study for like finals and shit. And then I'd go to work, I'd work like a full shift, sometimes even a double shift, right? Afterwards, you'd go out drinking, and then instead of going home, you just fucking park your car right in front of the right in front of work, right? And just fall asleep in the car so like your fucking boss can like bang on your hood when he gets in.
I never did that, but did you smoke a blunt before the game?
I was probably smoking the entire
All right, well, at least you smoked a blunt before the game. Shit.
Well, look, team, we appreciate y'all joining us in the rotation today, and I just want to close out, give everybody the opportunity to talk about the competition, their contribution to it, and also how it's going down. So obviously this Saturday, April 12th, the doors are going to open at 7 p.m. If you want more details about the competition, or if you want to get your tickets, go to suncoastnormal.org. It is going to be at the Dignitary Cafe, which is located at 4817 South West Shore Boulevard. Okay, that's our defending champ Indica, who is with us. Indica, why don't you just tell folks how you're feeling about the competition, and then how they can reach out to you outside of it, if they want to maybe have you come roll for them.
Hey, no, I'm considering having a team together. I was gonna just go in just solo dolo, but I think I'm gonna get a team together. I want to just hone in on other people's like talents and learn from them and see if it makes me better. And maybe I do have a challenge coming up with you guys, but you can find me on Twitter or Blue Sky. On both of them are Indica Fetish, so I do enjoy my weed. But those are ways to find me. You can also email me, and that's fun too.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like you might at least want to go home with a team belt if you don't come back with your championship belt this year. So pretty excited that you want to go home a champ either way. And so and the person that's going to be deciding that, of course, among one of them is going to be Katrina Pinkk. So Katrina, why don't you just tell folks a little bit about how they can reach out to you? I know you sometimes do a podcast yourself, so let folks know how you're feeling.
All right, so the podcast, really quick, I kind of like stepped back a little bit. 3 days before Rich Homie Coin was supposed to drop, it was going to be like a banger chat with Kat. Rich Homie Coin had hit me back and was like, yeah, I got you. So it was going to be a banger, but he ended up passing away. I kind of got like sidetracked and put that off. But anyways, I'm getting back into it. So yeah, but with the blunt rolling competition, y'all can find me at The Real Katrina Pinkk with 2 Ks, not 1. And then also Facebook, Katrina Pinkk with 2 Ks. And you can still subscribe to Chat with Kat on Facebook, y'all. So we're getting into it. June is near. I show out in June, just so you know. I mean, so
awesome.
Really, really honored to be here today. Thank y'all. Thank you.
I appreciate you. And then of course, Ian Beckles, proprietor of the Dignitary Tea and Kava Lounge, Dignitary Cafe, where it is going down. Ian, why don't you just go ahead and close us out?
Yeah, hope to see everybody on Saturday, 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard, right in the corner of West Shore and Gandhi. I was gonna go on solo dolo, but I think Indica was trying to intimidate me with this team talk. So I'm gonna round up some goons, and we gonna come in with a team.
Oh, he's coming for you.
And we gonna meet Indica at the dope.
I mean, I feel like we're still coming at each other solo, but the team's just a little extra, and that's fine. I'm down for it.
But I just feel like you've been the intimidator the whole time, and I just I don't like to be intimidated. Indica. I don't like it.
Bringing the competitive streak out.
But I know I'm coming to your home area over there, so we'll see. We'll see. I'll bring it all. I'll bring what I got.
I have home field advantage, but we'll make sure everything's on the up and up. Definitely.
Very fair, very fair and
there. Excellent.
Right. Yo, rest in peace, Rich homie. I said his name, y'all.
No doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. So Carlos, you're the referee. It's on you to keep everything on the up and up, my friend. So you got a big job ahead of you. It's gonna be a lot of contestants, some teams now. So
I got my Foot Locker shirt back from the cleaners, and I'm all ready for you guys. I got my referee whistle. I'm gonna be on. Like, you guys keep on. I've been watching. You guys understand? I'm the referee, so like, I already have been getting information, and I know how you guys are gonna cheat, and I'm gonna stop y'all.
No. Well, I say you just make sure you bring that belt.
Okay,
we'll be there, and you know what? Check out. There might be an unboxing video coming up about the belt.
I might fight now.
And again, the rolling competition, of course, Dignitary is open all day long. So if folks want to get there early, have the little 420 pre-sesh. Again, the doors for the competition don't open till 7. Competition will start at 8. We got the Slap Your Mama food truck providing food. We also have Cushy Pies catering the VIP experience. Get you either a contestant ticket, a judge pass, or a VIP entry, and that will get you a Cushy Pies gift bag. Also, we got $50 in Dignitary dollars available, as well as a $50 gift certificate to Cushy Pies and a Puffco Peak for the winner, in addition to some cash prizes being sponsored by Suncoast Normal. So, whoever's going home for this competition is going home with a wealth of goodies and a championship belt. So there is a lot to be said. Get your tickets now. This is going to be an amazing week for sales. Judges passes will sell out quickly, so get the remaining few that are available. Of course, get you a team of 4 to enter into the competition. It's only $100 for 4 people to enter in. That's $25 a head. That's cheaper than the individual competitions, and you're walking away with so much more value. Just the Cushy Pie bags alone is actually even worth more than the tickets that are being offered. So shout out to Cushy Pies for being an amazing sponsor for this event.
You say the vendors.
Yes, of course. And then we're going to have also many vendors. I'm glad you brought that up, Pinkk. If you're interested in vending for this competition, it is only $50. Reach out to us at info@suncoastnormal.org. Go to the website, hit us up. There's an opportunity for you to hawk your goods there and share folks with either your organization, if you're a nonprofit or advocacy org. We definitely want to, again, continue to be part of this community. And again, being a VIP pass holder, a contestant, or a judge, get you a 1-year membership to Suncoast Normal. And of course, Suncoast Normal members get free entry. If you haven't renewed your dues, if you need to re-sign back up as a member, go ahead and either become a member on our website or just purchase a VIP ticket or enter the competition. And of course, judges get to smoke the entries, which is the best part about being a judge. So of course, if you're looking to have a really great Saturday night this weekend, go on ahead and sign up and get you that judge pass. And then Carlos, with all that being said, I'm excited for the Best Blunt Debate Rolling Competition. This is our 4th edition of the competition. I'm looking forward to each and every year making it bigger and better. And we're doing that by partnering with Beckels in the Dignitary Cafe. We got our amazing judge Katrina Pinkk coming back for a 2nd year, and our defending champ Indica Jane coming back. So it is going to be all good times, a lot of fun. And with all of that, Carlos, I think it's time for the normal news.
I was not ready for that.
Roll my theme music. So at the top of the news hour, reporting President Trump has tapped a former Fox News reporter to be the nation's drug czar. He has chosen conservative journalist Sarah Carter to serve as the director of the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy. Carter is a former Fox News contributor who has no formal drug policy, public health, or law enforcement experience. As a reporter, Carter has investigated the role of foreign drug trafficking organizations in the illicit marijuana trade, and privately, she has actually expressed her support for the patient's use of medical cannabis, and once acknowledged that she doesn't have any problem with cannabis if it's legalized and monitors. She's not saying we got to make it illegal. She awaits confirmation from the United States Senate. Now, understand that Congress created the Office of National Drug Control Policy back in 1988, and to implement and evaluate drug control policies to reduce the use, manufacture, and trafficking of illicit drugs. By statute, the agency's director shall ensure that no federal funds appropriated to the agency shall be expended for any study or contract relating to the legalization for medical use or any other use of a substance listed in Schedule 1. So again, this is so important why we have to contact our members of Congress, why we have to continue to lobby and work to change things. To that note, at the end of April 29th through May 1st, the Last Prisoner Project, in conjunction with NORML, in conjunction with labor unions, in conjunction with the Veteran Cannabis Coalition, the Parabola Center, the Reason Foundation, we got folks from the Drug Policy Alliance, from left to right, to libertarian, to socialist, whatever your political affiliation may be, are descending on Washington, D.C. for Cannabis Unity Week. And if you've just visit the website, Carlos, if you could drop the link for folks to go on to Cannabis Unity Week and find out the schedule of events. On Tuesday, the 29th, we're going to be at Capitol Hill lobbying members of Congress, both on the 29th and the 30th. Then there's going to be a rally on May 1st, the Great American Cannabis Freedom Rally in front of the White House, demanding that President Trump take action on this. So, of course, visit the Last Prisoner Project's website, lastprisonerproject.org, go to Cannabis Unity Week, find the schedule of events, sign up. NORML will be a part of some amazing panel events discussing what's going on. And this is an opportunity for everybody to come together and make the change that we need, because clearly this information is important. Folks need to know that. Now, interesting thing in the news moving forward, the White House says they have no action planned on marijuana, but Trump is quietly pushing lawmakers on cannabis banking, according to a report. Now, the White House is in something that President Trump has said on the campaign trail. A lot of folks, especially on the conservative side of the spectrum, who are cannabis activists, were telling me, oh, Trump's going to legalize it. But the truth is that they have no action being considered at this time, regardless of what you hear from folks like Matt Gaetz and other conservative influencers. Now, that being said, there are three sources familiar with negotiations on Capitol Hill, and Trump's transition team did seek to sway Congress to include measures protecting banks with state legal cannabis businesses this past December. So, it remains to be seen whether or not the Secure and Fair Enforcement Safe Banking Act, if you will actually make it through the Republican-controlled majority in Congress, or whether or not state legal dispensaries will have that opportunity. We do know that Trump did meet with some folks who are part of major multi-state operators, especially here in Florida, at Mar-a-Lago, True Booth. And, we'll see how much that influence and what those donations actually have to do. Now, let's talk a little bit about federal policy. The Supreme Court has actually declined to hear a case on the scope of federal marijuana medical protections. They declined to hear a Maine man's appeal that sought to clarify the boundaries of a federal law that protects state legal marijuana activity from prosecution by the federal government. After discussing the matter late last week, justices this past Monday denied the petition from lawyers of Lucas Cirrhosis, who had asserted that the amendment, which had been enacted into federal law via the spending bill since late 2014, should prevent the Department of Justice prosecutors from pursuing their case against him. Cirrhosis was charged in 2021 with a laundry list of offenses stemming from his business as a licensed medical marijuana provider, according to his petition to the court. And since his arrest, he's protested the prosecution is in violation of the so-called Rohrabacher-Farrider Amendment that was named after the lawmakers who sponsored it, which prevents the Department of Justice from spending money to prevent states with legal medical marijuana programs from implementing their own laws that authorize the use, distribution, possession, and cultivation of medical marijuana. The Supreme Court petition filed in February, his lawyers argue that the government's action in this case actually violate the Rohrabacher-Farrider Amendment and results in DOJ spending funds that were not appropriated by Congress. Therefore, their actions are invalid, and the Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit must be reversed. The petition noted there's currently a split between the First Circuit and the Ninth Circuit courts with respect to this marijuana budget rider, and such conflicts, typically the Supreme Court will weigh weigh in. And this is definitely an opportunity for the court to do that. The court has decided not to. So, it's still in limbo. It remains to be seen how this shakes out. The Supreme Court did, however, recently side with a trucker who was fired over a THC test following his use of CBD products. Now, there was a trucker, Douglas Horn, who filed a legal challenge against Medical Marijuana Incorporated in 2015 and is suing under the RICO Act. He alleged that the company falsely advertised the product as having 0% THC. Which was why he decided to try it for pain management. His employer later fired him for testing positive for THC. And the substance in the case didn't center on cannabis law, but instead on the boundaries of the RICO Act itself. And the issue was whether the statute allowed Horn's civil claim to proceed. While the RICO cases are generally associated with large-scale prosecutions of criminal organization, the statute can be applied in civil matters as well. And in this instant, he claims that he's been injured in his business or property because of his employment being terminated due to a positive THC test. Understand that when you're a trucker and you get piss tested, you can lose your CDL, you can lose your livelihood. And so this guy's, was under the assumption that the product that he was consuming had 0 THC in it. Now, Carlos, I just got to ask you, as a hemp business, you actually have certificates of authenticity that show, and even under Florida law, anything with hemp has to have 0.3% THC or less. And even with that point amount, if you leave it in your car, if you leave it in the trunk, if it gets warm, it can decarboxylate and the THC content could go up. So
it's not so much about the decarboxylation. It's that if you use it over a certain amount of time, it can build up in your system. So if I go and I smoke a CBD joint right now and I haven't consumed any cannabis in months, right? Chances are I will be able to pass that drug test tomorrow. But if I smoke a CBD joint every day, sooner or later, it will build up where I will fail that test.
Wow. Well, let's talk a little bit more about drug testing. Representative Mickey Sherrill from New Jersey has introduced legislation that says that special government employees like Elon Musk actually must submit to government drug testing. And since he has a well-documented history of drug use, should this bill pass, it'll be interesting to see whether or not he can continue to be the head of Doge and continuing operating under the Trump administration as a consultant. So they want basically Elon Musk and his Doge employees to have to piss in the cup, and just the same as every other executive branch employee. Maybe this is the straw that breaks the camel's back and gets the government to end drug testing for public employees. We'll see what happens. But on that note, we do have a bill in Florida to protect public employees who are medical marijuana patients from sanctions and from negative consequences. And of course, if you go to the Normal Action Center, go to normal.org, click Take Action. You can click on the state of Florida, and there are 10 bills currently in the Florida legislature that have to do with cannabis. And you have the opportunity to send a letter to your lawmakers, including your state rep, your state senator, and Governor Ron DeSantis, and ask them to support this. It is important now more than ever that we end up being involved in Tallahassee, not just to protect our hemp businesses, but to protect our civil rights. We have a bill not just around employment protections, but there's another bill that will protect your parental rights. For those of you who are in, mixed households, split households, you're dealing with issues in the child support system, or you're dealing with issues in divorce court, your status as a legal patient could be used against you. And that is definitely something that is not right, that our civil rights are continually still under attack and under additional scrutiny that no one else faces as legitimate and legal state cannabis users. So that is something that, of course, we want folks to support. So send that email to your lawmakers. Now, when we talk about state level lawmakers, there's some news coming out of Ohio. The governor proposed doubling the sales tax on marijuana in the state of Ohio. And Republican Governor Mike DeWine has called for provisions to be included in the budget to raise the sales tax from 10% to 20% on cannabis products. I mean, that is just what? Yeah, what the fuck? What state? What other product has a 20% tax on it? I mean, that is ludicrous. Luckily, House lawmakers have rejected that plan. So when we talk about, government is important, elections are important, this is what we mean. And Ohio is a swing state with a Republican governor. Now, people give us a lot of flack because I have very, leftist views. And oftentimes you'll see me identify with the Democratic Party's policies, but Democrats don't always get it right. I have to say, working here in the DC area, working in the Maryland General Assembly, I am not happy the fact that the Maryland House and Senate have passed budget bills that impose increasing the taxes on adult use marijuana products. Currently, there's a 9% sales tax on adult use cannabis products, and we will see provisions approved by the lawmakers in the state budget package increase that sales tax to 25% beginning in 2027. So, members of the General Assembly, I'm going to be very diplomatic because my paycheck has to do with working with y'all, but I'm going to be very stern. This is some bullshit. And Governor Moore, please don't sign this bill. Strike that out if you got a lie down a veto. And if you don't, just remember that the elections are in 2026 and cannabis consumers do vote. It's not cool to make people pay 25% on an already overpriced eighth. Not cool. You're just going to push more people back into the legacy market. The fact that you can go to DC and get an ounce for $60, but then in Maryland, you're going to pay $60 for an eighth and 25% tax. Well, how? Why? It's like cannabis should not just be for the upper middle class. It should not just be for the rich. It should not be for old white lawyers, right? We talked about this on the show today, and that is definitely something that these taxes are doing. Now, it's not all gloom and doom. Voters do have a lot to say, and Pennsylvania voters recently in a poll said that they prefer legalizing marijuana through private stores instead of a state-run model. Now, Pennsylvania is one of those northern states, one of the last few that doesn't have an adult use system, and they're going back and forth in the marijuana legislature of how they do this. They wanted to actually take a government-run approach and have government-run dispensaries and such, and then the voters are like, no, they want the market to actually influence it. So this is interesting because they had 51% of voters say that they support a commercial market compared to 25% who have a state-run model, which is how Pennsylvania approaches alcohol, right? They have state-run, state-controlled pricing, sales, distribution.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, but which is interesting because you get these things like the state can jack up the prices, but also the state can also control prices. It is definitely something that, for those of us who are capitalists, don't feel like that should be the way. There are those folks on the left who might feel as though, well, maybe the state can depress prices and prevent this price gouging like we see at the dispensaries in Florida.
Who put that bill forward? Was it a Republican or a Democrat?
I'll have to go back and look that up for you. Pennsylvania is a swing state. They have both, a slim majority of Democrats. So oftentimes you'll see bipartisan work on some things. But yeah, I'll get you some more information.
I'm just saying that's a very communist way of looking at
cannabis.
Yeah.
Well, it's also a big Amish state. They're really big about co-ops and pulling together, so maybe that's part of the culture too. So but let's talk about states real quick. Let's talk about Florida. Officials, the Florida government says that the Smart and Safe ballot measure campaign committed multiple election law violations. And as we all know, Smart and Safe Florida failed to get the 60% vote to legalize adult use in Florida in 2024. And they currently are collecting petitions to put it on the 2026 ballot. But the Office of Election Crimes and Security, which is part of the Florida Department of State, has fined Smart and Safe more than $120,000 for submitting completed petitions that were longer than 30 days after they were signed. And they're currently referred the case to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for a potential criminal investigation. Among the claim violations for Smart and Safe Florida is that they failed to provide the official text of the proposed constitutional amendment to voters when they were obtaining the signatures, as well as it delivered forged or fraudulent petitions, such as one that was purportedly signed by a Florida voter in February 2025, when in fact that voter had been dead since November of 2024. Ooh, so that's
so how much money does fucking Trulieve have? Like,
so yeah, that's pretty wild, right?
Right. Like,
especially
all
considering I know investors.
Yeah, like all I hear is these people fucking wasting money. Like campaigns that they just spend millions, 40, what was it, like 40 something $million yeah.
I mean, I got to be real. I reached out to their
lobbying
campaign
dollars to get rid of hemp.
Yeah. I thought we had room to work together.
Now,
no, we don't. There's no room for anybody but them. Yeah.
And now I hear that they're doing shit that's getting them fined.
Yep.
Like,
and possibly criminally investigated.
Yeah.
It is a first-degree misdemeanor to knowingly sign the same petition more than once, and apparently voters signed more than 100 duplicate petitions because they either weren't reading the warning, they were ignoring it, or they were led to believe that they needed to sign the petition twice. Now, I can tell you, having personally been a petition collector on payroll for Amendment 2 back in 2015, I would tell people all the time, did you already sign this petition? Like, you can't sign it twice, here's the text. Like, all these things they're being fined for lets me know that they have a poor training program, number one. And number two,
to this, their pricing structure seems to have changed, like, completely.
Yeah.
Like, as a matter of fact, so I question the petitioners when I find them in Ybor.
Yeah.
This one girl told me that they're not getting paid per petition anymore.
Whoa.
They're only doing like a certain like salary base.
You got to get a quota, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think so. Like, you got to get a certain amount of petitions, and they pay you by the hour. Yeah,
that's pretty wild. For each petition that's more than 30 days late, it's a $50 fine. And $250 if you willfully did it. So these things can balloon up. So the messed up part is they spent over $100 million trying to pass it. They didn't get it passed. I took the initiative to see if we could work with them. One, back off the whole trying to ban hemp businesses. Two, let us run the field operations. We know how to do the grassroots. I know how to win a fucking field campaign. And they ghosted us all the way up until the weekend before election day. And then they were like, oh, here's $5,000 to do GOTV work. And I'm like, what the fuck are we going to do 2 days before the election with $5,000? It's no shocker why they lost, but now it's not a shocker as to what they're doing. It's just like, if you want to actually legalize it, take it seriously. But we know they're not taking this as serious as they should.
If a company, not like a good company, like a company like Starbucks could probably get away with being this frivolous, or like Walmart could get away with being this. They probably are that frivolous. As
a union person, I can tell you both Starbucks and Walmart are shit shows, and they can afford to do this.
A company, say like Buffalo Wild Wings, if they handled their shit like this,
oh yeah,
there would be no more wings. Wings would be discontinued from the United States.
We've not endorsed this new petition, and I've held back because I have major concerns. Because the fact that they put a public smoking ban in the petition, which would put it into the Constitution of the state of Florida. And in no lifetime would I support putting a smoking ban on weed in the Constitution of the state of Florida.
Yeah.
So as much as I want to end cannabis arrests in Florida, I'm also not going to tamp down on our future civil rights, because I know how hard it is to amend the Constitution in a state like this.
Katrina's leaving. Say bye.
So bye. There's a lot to be said on what's going down with all of this. And then as we wrap up the news here, there is hope on the horizon. There are other countries that you can move to, other states where they're getting this right. Most recently, the Supreme Court of Brazil has affirmed that adults can possess and grow marijuana for personal use. Wow. Brazilians may possess up to 40 grams of cannabis and home cultivate up to 6 plants without threat of arrest or incarceration, according to a determination by the members of the Supreme Federal Court of Brazil. This decision affirms and clarifies an earlier decision that depenalized low-level marijuana possession. The use of cannabis in public remains subject to administrative penalties. You will still get a ticket, and cannabis trafficking still remains punishable by criminal penalties. An estimated 25% of Brazilians are in crime are in jail for minor drug possession offenses. So there's a lot to be said about how this shakes out. In 2018, South Africa actually similarly determined that the use of marijuana by adults in private is a constitutionally protected behavior. Lawmakers eventually signed legislation into law in 2024 that could codify the personal use of marijuana by adults. So if you are someone who does not like the way things are going in this country currently, if you're just fed up with being under attack and having to deal with even in legal state taxes on weed going through the roof, there is hope. You can go to South America, you can go to Africa. There are places in the world where cannabis possession is not being treated as a crime, and there is an opportunity there. Now, why is it still treated as a crime? Why is it still Schedule 1? Why do they still say cannabis is bad for you, that it has no medical value? Because of big pharma, because of the private prison industry, because of inflated police budgets and organizations like the Florida Sheriff's Association,
alcohol industry,
because of the alcohol industry, and so understand that even now, every single week we read stories. And here's one. There's longitudinal data published in the Journal of Clinical Medicine that says vaporized cannabis provides significant improvements for patients with MS, with multiple sclerosis. And this is coming out of Athens, Greece. Greek researchers have assessed the efficacy of vaporized cannabis formulations containing 13% CBD and 9% THC in a cohort of 69 MS patients. Study participants' symptoms include bladder dysfunction, muscle spasticity, and disability progression rates. These were assessed at baseline and at 3 and 6 months, and they noted that significant improvement was observed across all outcome assessments following the patient's adjunctive use of cannabis. Now, this study represents the initial step towards understanding that real-world application of vaporized THC CBD formulas in MS management, and the findings highlight the potential benefits of CBD and THC vaporized formulas in managing MS symptoms, and they were particularly when integrated into the existing treatment framework of the disease-modifying therapies and other MS symptomatic therapies. Now, for a second there, I had to read the acronym because it said DMT, and I was like, wait, DMT? They're giving these people DMT too? But it's actually disease-modifying therapies is what they meant by DMT in that study. So make sure you know your acronyms, make sure you read it. But this is, I'm like, shit, MS patients need DMT and weed. Wow, that'd be a wild trip for me. But also looking at some things that I think is important. They're always talking about, at least in Florida, when they want to validate over criminalization, over regulation, when they want to try and put the hemp businesses like Carlos out of business. They're always talking about, what about the kids? And so let's take a second to talk about latest news when it comes to what about the kids. Trial data published in the journal Curious, according to Brazilian researchers, findings from 7 different studies, 3 randomized clinical trials, and 4 observational studies involving 494 younger patients, pediatric patients with autism spectrum disorder. Study participants consumed extracts dominant in cannabidiol and CBD, and the researchers reported that CBD-rich formulations may hold promise for managing certain autism spectrum disorder symptoms. Improvements noted were anxiety improvements, sleep quality, social effects, and behavior. And although these findings varied across the studies, most importantly, adverse events were generally mild and occurred at similar rates in both the cannabinoid and the placebo groups, supporting the intervention safety profile. The study's authors concluded more rigorous and well-designed randomized controlled trials are necessary to confirm these results, but they established clear treatment guidelines for cannabinoid use in autism spectrum disorder. If you want to read more about this, or if you want to see more, go to normal.org. You can read our publications, you can learn more, and you can read the latest. Subscribe to Normal's weekend reads and weekly newsletters on normal.org's website, so you can also catch up on all these amazing studies coming out from all around the planet. And at the top of the hour, that's essentially how we wrap things up here, coming in with the normal news. That's all I got to say about that.
Hey, why do you think Gary didn't go on the show today?
Gary went to 2 protests yesterday. He was at the hands-off protest. You know, obviously being someone who's a little bit up there in age, and the fact that we see the Social Security Administration is now being investigated by DOJ, that they're going to make it harder for people to get their Social Security claims by shutting down on-site offices, by forcing people to have to do stuff in person rather than being on the phone or the websites. So, you know, he's kind of protested out, you know, and then anytime you take an older person and you put them in a crowd of thousands of people, you know, without a mask.
No, those are excuses. Gary fucking loves to protest. Second, right? He like gets energy from it. He like
makes him feel
no, he's mad because I didn't because I told him last week that we shouldn't make fun of Elon for taking ketamine.
I mean, you know, hey, look, it'll be interesting to see if Elon has to piss in a cup after, you know, all this wildness that's going on in Congress and these drug testing policies. We advocated in past years against drug testing federal workers. We still don't think that people, you know, when Biden took office, we were protesting that, you know, that like, damn, all these great, amazing people were planning on getting jobs in the government, and then they got their security clearances pulled because for one reason or another, they were either had medical cards or they were smoking weed, you know, legally in an adult use state, and you still can't have access to the nuclear codes and be a part of the planning the wars if you smoke weed, but you can drunk text top secret war plans in the signal chat, you know, in these days, which is kind of wild to me. So I don't know. I think the next Secretary of Defense should be a pothead and not an alcoholic. Maybe we won't have such shitty issues with our you know, drunk texting secret war plans.
We just got to get through these next 4 years. We get through these next 4 years, it's almost like anybody will be better. And
that's what people did with the Bush administration. People were like, you know, we could go with John McCain, proven war veteran, United States diplomat and senator, or we could try the black guy because it can't be any worse than these old white guys fucking up for the past 43 administrations. And then Cheeto has taken office twice now. And yeah, but here's the thing, Carlos, who is the Democrats going to put up? Because Cory Booker gave a long rant the other day, a 25. Cory Booker broke Strom Thurmond's filibuster record when Strom Thurmond filibustered the Civil Rights Act. Cory Booker, you know, did that trying to filibuster the budget bill. But also understand that Cory Booker missed a key vote as the ranking Democrat in the committee that regulates big tech. And big tech like Meta and all these other Google have funded his campaign for president, have got that behind. So if you look at him as a candidate, it's like
I don't like Cory Booker.
You put a bought candidate.
AOC all the way, bro.
Look, my dream ticket would be Bernie and AOC, because we know that Bernie isn't going to be there forever, and AOC would be an amazing candidate. But behind him, we need think about that. How wild that would be. For someone to go from being a bartender to a member of Congress to being in the White House in such short a time. We need working people in Congress. We need working people like in the White House. We need common people, not people who have all these Harvard educations and who are part of the legacy thing, who their only claim to fame is they had a rich daddy or a rich granddaddy. Like, we need people who are fucking qualified to know the struggles of working people and actually step up and be a part of that. We need people who smoke cannabis and will stop people from getting arrested for cannabis in office, not rich guys.
Records of people who have gotten arrested for cannabis.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, understand the importance of that situation. If I could just, and you know, honestly, I'm not trying to preach or anything like that, but it even goes into like the mentality right now. Yeah. Like, my business is not doing as well as it did because of just the mindset of people. You know what I mean? And I don't know. And also, Ybor sucks. It's fucking. There's nobody out here.
Well, you know, in the effort to make Ybor more family friendly, right? Yeah. Like, that's not why people don't go down to Ybor during the daytime. You go to Ybor, you know, in the evening because you want to turn up. You want to have a good time. Look at the daytime on a Saturday. Yeah. Like, there is no one. There isn't. This isn't Disney World. People go away, though.
She's judging the contest, ladies and gentlemen, because she's just, you know, smoking weed on the side of 7th.
So much for family friendly. But you know, hey, if you could do that at Disney World, maybe more people with adults would go to Orlando. I don't know. But Carlos, you've created a space for cannabis there, you know, in Ybor. You created a space for the community. And I think that that's just a testament to your commitment to knowing how this all sucks. So like you got to create safe spaces for people to want to be themselves. Now you what was it, last weekend or weekend before they had Tampa Pride? How was that in Ybor? Was it popping? Was there tons of people out there?
It was good, and it was surprising like how good the press came out from all that.
Yeah.
You can see like there's definitely a different element that had moved to Florida, because like even though the press was good, like all the comments underneath were pretty bigoted. But
never read the comments if you don't.
I mentioned to our manager here that like I remember working a shift during the Pride Parade, and you know everybody was out here. It was packed. It was 2 p.m. It was, you know, there was just the sidewalks were packed. People were pushed up against my windows.
Yeah. I remember the 2018 Pride Parade. It was thick.
It probably did not get like that packed until, you know, after the actual parade.
So when people want to turn up in the evening, like I just said, like, so this whole Ybor Chambers approach to the family friendly is like, go stay in your lane, you know, like do what you do best. Ybor is a party place. It's like Bourbon Street, New Orleans. That has never been a family friendly atmosphere. It's a place where you have Mardi Gras and you turn up.
It can coexist, you know. I don't think the partying on 7th Ave would fuck up a peaceful situation in Gasworks.
Yeah.
Or Ybor Harbor, or any of the great things that they're planning to do out there.
Yeah.
But you know, they did make it in such a way where a lot of the businesses that were friendly to minorities and friendly to you know, alternative lifestyle people have closed, you know. So it's a lot of you know, there's never really been a lot of residents in Ybor. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get people to move here. So,
I got a friend who lives in the gentrified part of Ybor. He was like, you know, it's kind of cool when Gasparilla happens. You don't have to find parking. You can just walk from your house.
Yeah.
But like, you know, how often that I wasn't at Gasparilla this year. I was the year before with you. How was it this year? Was it less people?
I was in the night parade was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was out here. It was pretty dope.
It was thick.
Yeah. I didn't do the daytime parade. I stayed in my house. I was scared to go out.
Oh yeah. No. I remember we did the day parade that one year. We walked. Oh, my feet, my blisters, man. Shit. Yeah, that was wild. Like I don't know how. Now I know why these guys get drunk all day and walk around, because to walk that parade route, the amount of pain you feel in your feet, like especially if you're in pirate boots, you got to get shit faced.
I don't know if you realize it, but every parade that we've ever done, I've made it a point to walk the parade.
I remember you walking the 4th of July parade that one year. I stayed on the float the second year.
I remember you trying to walk a parade and just like you were like, the magical butter limo was with us. So you were like,
that was the first year. That was the first year. I was like, fuck that. Yeah, let me in the limo. I got halfway through. I was like, and Temple Terrace isn't even a long parade. That was, you know, but hey, my feet were hurting. Screw that. So,
all right. Well, I mean, I guess you're coming into town, huh?
Yeah, I will see you next week. I'm pretty excited for it. I got a few things to wrap up here in DC. You know, Monday, the Maryland General Assembly wraps up. So tomorrow I'll be down in Annapolis. Tuesday, I'm going to be at a hearing in front of a county council to make sure the school board gets fully funded. And then I will hit the road after that. So I got a few more things to wrap up here in DMV around politics. And then I'll be home in Florida to just enjoy the sun for a little bit and decompress. And yeah, I'm excited to promote a roller competition. So
here's what I'm gonna do. When you get into town, text me. I'll go down to Jungle Boys. I'll never go down to Jungle Boys. I'll pick up some herb and I'll roll a blunt and we'll get ready for the contest.
Oh, I'm pretty excited for that. Yeah, we got some great stuff to do. Now, if folks want to get more information about the contest, there are flyers at both Chillum locations, both in Ybor and St. Pete. So if you feel so that you want to pick up a couple flyers and pass them out to friends and get them involved. But Everything you need to know is on suncoastnormal.org. It's got the time of the event, it's got the location, it's got the different tickets, different ticket prices. You can get your passes now. Of course, judge passes will sell out. There's a limited number there. Get them before they're gone. And of course, become a member of suncoastnormal.org, and you can get free membership, as a member, you get into all of our events, general admission free. If you get a VIP ticket, you get a free 1-year membership. If you get a judge pass, you get a 1-year membership. If you get a contestant entry or a team entry, all 4 of you will get 1-year memberships to Suncoast Normal. And again, that gets you free general admission to all of our events. If you're watching this on YouTube, Facebook, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, share, our feeds. We do the rotation because we want to bring you the latest in cannabis news and entertainment each and every week. We are going to take next week off after an amazing competition, but we're coming back for our 420 show. I mean, this is big, Carlos. Very rarely do we get a rotation on 420. So I'm excited for an amazing show. We got some special guests lined up, but you got to tune in if you want to know more. So, of course, join us on 420 at 11 a.m. in the rotation. And we'll see you then.
Tampa Bay, are you ready for the hottest rolling competition of the year? Suncoast Normal presents the best blunt in the Bay 4. Saturday, April 12th, 2025, at the Dignitary Cafe located at 4817 Southwest Shore Boulevard in Tampa, Florida. Think you can roll with the best? Put your skills to the test in individual and team competitions. Limited judge spots available. Be one of the few to decide who rolls the ultimate blunt. VIP experience sponsored by Cushy Pies. Taste. Live vacay. Great vibes, live music, and the dopest community in the Bay. Don't miss your chance to crown the best blunt roller in the Bay. Get your tickets now at suncoastnormal.org.
That is a catchy tune and an intimidating voice.
Hey, man. I asked the AI to make me a promo for the best blunt in the Bay. That's what it came up with.
Great job. I like it. You know,
you notice how like the competition had a whole bunch of mob bosses rolling up big ass blunts.
It gets the point across. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
And don't forget, Slap Your Mama food truck.
Shout out to Slap Your Mama. Yes.
Slap Your Mama food truck.
Food so good, make you want to slap your mama.
And
don't bring your mom to the competition because she might get slapped. You never know. Food might be that good.
Bye, everybody.